Being a professional artist requires a major commitment and focus because you have to connect to the world, and at the same time you work by yourself. And artists are not necessarily about marketing or self-representation, and their job is to make art. And to make art, again, is not just about the craftsmanship and the craft of art making. You need to enrich yourself. You have to stay connected with the world. You have to constantly educate yourself. And it's a tough balance. And you may end up being an educator, go finish your higher academic, have academic goals to support yourself as an artist. You may be amongst some of those lucky people who they have patrons or they do well in the markets. But it all ultimately comes down to that point that yes, you are committed. You almost don't have a choice. I always have been inspired by life, nature, and I think we are nature. And inspiration is always a breath away from us, just right there. It's very ordinary. I'm inspired by those in this room, young filmmakers. I'm inspired by my children. They're had to live with my life, my history, and also make their own choices and to grow as individuals. I think inspiration is to live your life with its full potential and to be present. In 1973, I emigrated to the United States, and for a period of 5 years, I lived between America, Europe, and Iran. In 1978, I had my first child born here, and I've took out to citizenship in 1979, and since then I've been living in the United States. What's so ironic, even now, where I live in the United States, a completely different life, there is the perils between all those diversities. I still live in a diverse family. I'm married to a non-Iranian man, different religion, different upbringing, cultures. I have 4 children, an amazing grandchild, everyone with completely unique interest in their life. Due to circumstances of my life, I had to adapt and the tendency toward non-formal education. I was 16 years old that I got married and had to leave day school, and we traveled again. He was building roads, and I had to learn to take advantage of the situation. And at any time, any place, what was presented to me, because my mind was so hungry, and for many, many reasons, the layers that I was carrying emotionally with me, I knew I have to become educated. I had to have a dialogue. So learning and studying and taking that responsibility personally became a major passion at the time, or the task, or however you want to address it. And when we came to the United States, I've signed up for a community college, Orange Coast College. At the meantime, we traveled. Every place we went, it was an opportunity for me. I've studied art in Florence with an artist I met. I've studied with Russian artists. In Iran, I went to Kamal Mulk School and with some of the masters there because they allowed me to work in transitions, live between spaces. And at Cal State Fullerton, I went through my MFA and got a full-time scholarship. And one of the most unique experiences I had at that time was the fact that I wanted to learn about people, I wanted to connect to people, and later on when I became an academician and I had to work within the frame of an institution, that's how I had to advance my education, by going to other people's, watching them and learning from them. So, and today, Google is my best friend. Life is my passion. I am passionate about life. Of course, circumstances has a lot to do with it, to have established this sensitivity. When I was 15 years old, after a car accident, I became paralyzed. And for months, over 6-7 months, living in a Russian hospital. and being radiated over my head and face and so forth. And of course, the circumstances of my life completely took a different direction after that as well. Then coincidentally, just a couple years ago, had to go through the same, repeat the same pattern in my life. And the first day after finishing all my months of radiations and not having a sense of taste, when I was able to eat that piece of toast, a little butter on it, it was quite fascinating that you discover your instinct, you discover your skin, you hear. So life is precious. And I know, of course, it's not always given to us the way we dream about it, or it doesn't match our ideology and our expectations. But I'm very passionate because I'm here today. And passion is connecting, is deeply connecting. And I want to deeply connect. And being an artist and being isolated, although the most important thing for an artist is to connect. We have to connect on many different layers to the world. And our world becomes just beyond where we were born and who our families are. But then you have to it alone. You have to balance between connecting with the world and then just performing alone. My passion and hope is to establish a non-profit organization that with the help of other artists will be motivated by creativity. And it's almost like every time I paint or make a picture, it's almost like if I'm building a bassinet or I'm actually making a building, because I can do that. And my passion is to be able to make those connections and I'm only one voice. So perhaps I can inspire others who they find a value that, you don't have to be always in your best place in life. And it's not measurable. How you can make a difference is not measurable. It's doable. Every role helps you to be a better person in whatever else you're doing. And my position in life is to provide a service. And first to myself by having the peace and feeling confident in the way I deliver my performance. However, I can't master all these tasks. For so long I thought, I'm a perfectionist. I want to do my best. I want to be the best teacher. But it just quite doesn't work that way. There's always a place to give. We make mistakes. We always are learning. We always are moving forward. So I put that concept aside of I can't master that. But I do look at those overlaps. I have a filter, and I have to use a sense of economy and kind of let go of certain things that it just doesn't fit in my plan to accomplish what I have to accomplish. And I don't believe in the word sacrifice, because it's not about sacrifice, but it's just about how you manage and how you passionately connect and how you saw those transitions and how you perceive those overlaps. And it makes you to become more engaged and more connected on everything you do in life. So everything has its own place. It's just about finding that balance and those overlaps. I do write poem in English, but I feel part of me is always lost, because I like to read Hafiz in Farsi. I want to read Rumi in Farsi, and you can't translate it. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I've tried, and there are some amazing translators, scholars who they've worked with Iranian literature, but it's a harmony. It's an essence. It's almost, how would you translate a symphony? You can't. And I would say that's the experience of what I miss. In 2009, when I was presented the opportunity of re-emerging, I've never believed there would be a chance for me. In Los Angeles is one of the most style-oriented centers in the world to make it again. It's been phenomenal. I've had many solo exhibitions, reviews, from Huffington Post to, again, most accomplished press in Los Angeles, and interviews and so forth, and many other exhibitions. And I'm currently getting ready for another 4-person exhibition in Manhattan Beach Cultural Center, and an exhibition, traveling exhibition in Europe, in Germany, a museum exhibition. I am very excited. I felt quite honored to be there. And surprisingly, that was the first time in my life that I broke down, and I just kind of let some of that past and even the shame I felt let go. It has so much to offer.